Aquarius and Aquarius rising, my lovely Aquarius. Let's talk about February, shall we? It's a very busy month, and before I start, I really want to give a little disclaimer here. Since this is such a busy month and we will feel probably quite restless, I would suggest that everyone, not just you as an Aquarius rising, but everyone, is implementing a grounding routine, and that could be 10-minute meditation every morning or evening, or morning and evening, a long walk in the park, a long walk by the sea, depending on where you live. Obviously, you know, if you have to drive 5 hours to get to the sea, then that's probably a little inconvenient, but find something that grounds you. Even, you know, exercising, no cardio, at least not as a routine to ground yourself, because that will not work. But maybe, you know, you want to do some weightlifting, because the heaviness of the weights will remind you that you live on planet Earth and that we are dealing with matter here, even though you are an Aquarius. And Aquarius, they often live somewhere else, right? They live like out there, all the way out there. Anyways, let's get going. The nodes this month are going to dance with Chiron all month long. And specifically the North Node, right? The North Node is moving towards a conjunction with Chiron. And for you, this is going to fall into the third house. The third house is early life conditioning, early life education, but also our social life, the social life we live now. And often within the social life we are living, we can learn a lot about our upbringing, about our conditioning. Chiron is what we brought with us from our past, from our childhood, from our upbringing, that is not healthy. There is healing necessary, right? Chiron is called the wounded healer. It is the one that was healing everyone else but couldn't heal himself. And we don't want to be Chiron, right? You don't want to be Chiron. No, you want to be able to heal yourself. And when we talk about healing, we're talking about psychological healing, but then obviously also physical healing, because that psychological wound can manifest itself in a physical wound. And I have first-hand experience with that, but we talk about this in a different video. So I would urge you to really look into this. Maybe you want to get some help. If there is something in your life that you've been dealing with, but you've been, you know, pushing it under the carpet, you're like, no, it's just, I don't want to look at it, don't want to deal with it. It's something in the past. But the thing with that something in the past that we put, you know, under the carpet, it will always find its way out again. It will. The idea here is to actually look at it, to actually feel it, to actually talk it out, whatever is necessary, so you can then let it go without feeling the need to put it under the carpet. You know, you got to get to a place where you can actually say, all right, that was my past. And you can say it with a smile, even when it was something that was not fun or funny. But that's when you know that it is not an emotional wound anymore. It's not something you carry with you in your emotional body. So yeah, find a way to work on that. You know, maybe you want to do some therapy. Maybe you want to work with a coach. Maybe you want to do find your own inner child healing practice. You know, there are a lot of courses online that can guide you through that if you don't want to work with another person. So now let's get into the month. The personal planets are going to be really busy this month. Mars, Mercury, Venus, they are they are running. They are running, they are active, they are out there, they're doing things. And that will make us feel a little restless, like I said earlier. That's why, you know, I talked about that grounding practice. The Sun is going to sextile Chiron, and Venus is squaring Chiron on the 5th. And Mercury will move into Aquarius the same day, conjunct Pluto. So this is a very busy day. And this is, again, a day that may remind you on something that you'd rather forget about, something that doesn't feel good, something that is a part of you that may also make you feel a little self-conscious about yourself. There might be worthiness issues come up in one way or another, and this can come up in different ways, right? This can come up in your workplace, this can come up in your relationship, where you feel like, you know, you're not good enough. This not good enough feeling may show up, and depending on who you are and where you're at, well, you either, you know, make up for it in a way where the ego comes out and says, okay, I will show you, or you're gonna go into hiding, or you actually address it in a way where you can integrate it, right? What we talked about earlier, that integration process where you can then let it go. It's integrated, it's done, you don't have to hide it anymore, you don't have to bring your ego out and tell everyone how good you are. You know, show up in a way where you do even more now so you can prove yourself. All of that is not necessary. Just be you and be real, and you know, show your vulnerability in a way where you don't have to pretend that whatever it is that you're feeling isn't actually happening. Then again, Mercury in Aquarius conjunct Pluto. Well, this is all happening in your first house. Your first house is going to be where it's at in the next 20 years, really, because Pluto just moved in there, and you will probably move into a completely different direction in your life, with your life. You know, things that you might have not looked at for whatever reason, maybe because you didn't want to, or maybe you thought, that can't be for me. Well, now you're realizing this can actually be for you. And this Mercury conjunct Pluto is going to make you think about it. Whatever that thing is, you know, whatever you want to do now, there's going to be a lot of thinking, and maybe you will talk about it also with maybe your partner, your friend, a close person, a one-on-one. Then, like I said, a lot of action with Venus, the Sun, Mars in the next few days. I'm not going to go into every detail here, but the nodes are also going to be involved. So we know when the nodes are involved, we are growing. Well, this is a big month for growth for all of us. So you are no exception here. And then we reach the new moon on the 9th or 10th of the month. So 9th of February or 10th of February, depending on if you are in the States or in Australia. And this new moon is happening in Aquarius, your first house. So I think this month is going to be a month for you where you really look at your personal transformation, the transformation of your identity. And your identity, first, obviously, you know, there's the outer layer of our identity, the way we look, the way we dress, but then there's also the inner identity, the way we identify with the world around us. So this is something that will be, like I already said, a big deal for you this month. And this new moon will probably bring some confidence in here, maybe because maybe you've thought about it, maybe you've talked about it with friends, and now you're like, well, actually, you know what? I can actually move into that direction already. What is holding me back? Nothing. I can just get going. So maybe there have been some inspired ideas, and now you are, you know, going to take inspired action. And this will actually continue in the next few days, because who else is going to move into your first house? First Mars and then Venus. So, and they also will conjunct in your first house. Beautiful also for romantic relationships. So if you are in a relationship already, you might want to rekindle your romance a little bit, right? You might want to spend more time with your partner. If you are single, you really might want to find someone now. You know, this might be one of your intentions that you set on the new moon. It's like, you know, I want to be in a relationship. I want to have a partner in my life. And you might put things into place so this can actually happen for you. So Mars is going to move into Aquarius on the 14th, and then Venus is going to move on the 17th, and then they will conjunct on the 21st, 22nd. So very, very busy time. The next 10 days after the new moon, I think you will do things really quickly. You will not sit on the couch very much. The transformation is underway. Your vision is probably going to be expanded as well, right? This your idea of, wow, yeah, I can actually do this in my life. I can actually live that way. And I think you will have a lot of inspired ideas, specifically with Venus and Mars in your first house. And then on the 20th of February, the Sun is moving into Pisces, so your second house. So towards the end of the month, worth, value, and valuables are going to be a thing. Probably also finances are going to be a topic for you. Maybe you want to rearrange things in that area. Maybe you want to find a new way of making money. Maybe that includes changing your job. Towards the end of the month, we have the Sun conjunct Mercury and then conjunct Saturn. So this is basically a triple conjunction. It's quite a big deal in the second house, where you want to get actually really serious about your financial situation for the future, right? Saturn is the future. Saturn is always directing us and looking at things from a long-term perspective. What makes sense from a long-term perspective? Where do I want to go, and where do I want to be in 5 years, 10 years, long-term? And does what I do now make sense for that? This is probably also going to be a month where you think a lot about the future and what you want, from a bigger picture perspective. I don't want to forget talking about the full moon that is happening on the 24th in Virgo, your 8th house. This is also, part of the financial axis. So maybe here you will deal with other people's money in some shape or form. Maybe your partner's money, maybe an inheritance, maybe the tax man is knocking on the door. And maybe there's also kind of an understanding that your money beliefs need to be overhauled. Maybe you have a certain idea about what money means, where money comes from, how money is made, how you can make money. And maybe it is necessary to look at that, your money beliefs, and how they hinder you from actually making money, or actually making money in the way you want to, So it is a big month. It's an exciting month, very exciting month, especially for you with that Pluto in your first house, and then all the other planets coming through. First Mercury, then Mars, then Venus. It's going to be a very, very busy time for you. So again, remember the grounding practice we talked about earlier. So if you have any questions about this month, if you want to know more, if you want any details, if you have any questions about aspects, please leave me a comment in the comment section. If you want a personal reading, or if you want to work with me one-on-one on whatever is going on in your life right now, we can do this. You can email me and we can have a little chat about that. And other than that, I wish you a beautiful month with a lot of lessons, a lot of learning, and a lot of growth. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye, my loves.